Good afternoon. Number one is, can everyone hear me? Yes. Good. I'd like to thank everybody for coming this afternoon, taking your time. We do appreciate it. And we have a very important visitor with us this afternoon. I'm sure a lot of you do not know what Little Pink Houses of Hope is or represents. The founder and director was actually from our Burlington area, and the office is here, and they do wonderful things for breast cancer patients and their families. Ronnie Delario and I have we've volunteered with them for several years with our golf tournament and raised quite a bit of money for them, which goes, of course, to the breast cancer patients and their families for their retreats and other causes. So we also want you to know, in addition to breast cancer patients, what else they do. Our speaker this afternoon is Kathy Gates, and she is the retreat program director. And she has some videos and some personal things that she would like for you to see that breast cancer patients have actually gone through and how we have helped them out. So let's give Kathy a nice, warm welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here today to talk about the most important person in the room. It's not me, it's you. Because it's people like you that make what we do possible. So that's what I want to talk about today. Now, of course, I'm going to share about Little Pink Houses of Hope because you have to know how you can be involved with that. But I want you to dwell on the fact that the most important person in the room today is you. It's you, all right? So let me tell you a little bit about Little Pink Houses of Hope. As you can guess, we are related to breast cancer because my boss found out that in a moment, your life can change. She found out about 15 years ago, we'll celebrate our 15th year next year, that breast cancer can invade the life of a 39-year-old mom and affect her future, her son's future, her husband's future. The story goes like this. She finds out about her breast cancer on a Friday. And the next day, Saturday, they're going to the beach on their family beach retreat with her 12-year-old son. How do you tell your 12-year-old son that you have cancer and that for the next 2 years you're going to be in treatment and you're not real sure what's going to happen? How do you tell your son that? So she went for a run. She went out jogging, and she came in Avon, North Carolina, to the Hatteras, the Coast Guard auxiliary housing there, and it was all closed up. All these beach houses all closed, and nobody could get in. And she thought, and she pondered, and she thought, why would those not be open? So she turned around and kept thinking about how she's going to tell her son she had breast cancer. And in her own words, she felt like God said, I want you to do beach retreats for breast cancer patients. I want you to figure out how to get people into houses so they can have a beach vacation like you and your family enjoy. She thought, did God just speak to me? I don't know. She ran back to her house and told her husband, I think the cancer's in my brain. I'm hearing voices. But do you know what? Here I stand 14 years later, and we have served over 1,500 families with vacations, with retreats where they did not have to pay for housing, they did not have to pay for food, they did not have to pay for their activities. Communities all across the country paid for them and made a way for them to have a week away from cancer. That's what we do. I think you can tell I love it just a little bit here. But thank goodness she did that. So how do we love? We surround families with a great big, we call it a little pink hug. We just make it easy for them to feel like they can trust us. I mean, if you got a phone call that said, hey, you've been awarded a retreat, a free retreat, and we would love for you to come, what would be your first response? Yay. Yay? All right, do you want to guess what the husband's response was? No. They say if something's too good to be true. Okay, So do you know how many husbands I've had to talk to on the phone? It's the greatest moment ever. What's the even biggest, greatest moment ever? A lot of superlatives there. Is when that husband, about halfway through the week, comes up and just gives you a big hug because he's like, I get it now. This is for real. So they have a week where they don't have to worry about making food. They don't have to worry about what comes next because we take care of it. I'd like to go on a vacation like that. I don't know about you. Look at all the places where we do this. California, Florida, Arizona, all across the eastern seaboard because that's where we are. That's where we live, and that was the easiest place to start. All over the country, we are having these retreats, and it's because these communities have said yes. There was somebody in the community who is a property management owner, and they said, I'll ask my people if they'll donate homes. Can you believe people donate their vacation home for a whole week for a family to come? I've been in, down at Hatteras, I've been in a vacation home where there's a cork board. And on that cork board are all the postcards of the pictures of families that have stayed in that home. That's meaningful to those property owners that their home was used in that way. In that same community, there were restaurants who said, we'll fix a meal. There were churches who said, we'll let you use our fellowship hall. There were boats who said, we'll take all your families out on our boat. And that's how these retreats happen. It's just amazing. So specifically in North Carolina, what happens here? You might say, well, wow, this sounds like you're a really big organization that just happens to start here. And we are, but we know that we only have 7 people on staff, and that's it. And 2 are part-time right now. We're not big, but we just have a big footprint. But our footprint in North Carolina is very big. 6 retreat locations here. Countless donors and volunteers just in North Carolina and in Alamance County. We have lots of families who have gone from this county. Ashley Kistler is one of our retreat alumni. She works at LabCorp. She went in 2020. Can you believe we sent people in 2020? She got to go to Key West. We didn't have a lot of families there, but her family got to enjoy a free place to stay, free activities, free meals, all of those things. And she is now one of the people who does admin for us by sending, those pictures I talked about? She sends those pictures to the families. She does that at her own home. She just sits on her computer and does the work to do that because that's what Little Pink means to her. And she goes to Myrtle Beach for a retreat. Another person, Colleen Hersey, she went to Oak Island in 2021, and she continues to volunteer for us at our gala, at various events in the county. We have a box of hope that's back there at the back I'm going to refer to several times. In Alamance County, we have given out numerous of those boxes of hope. We go to the charitable foundation at the hospital, and they give us names of people who are being treated for breast cancer. And we send those boxes here in Alamance County. So don't think just because we have all these retreats all over the country that all of this money goes other places. A lot of it stays right here too. So just want you to know that. Can you believe the average age now for our breast cancer participants is 39. 39. I see ladies who are my children's age with breast cancer, and it just breaks my heart. Just shouldn't happen that way, should it? It just shouldn't happen that way. But, again, what we do is more than just for the moms. When you have a bunch of moms and who have a bunch of kids, and they all get to come together, and they all get to play, and they all don't have to talk about why their mom is bald because their mom is bald. And they don't have to talk about why their mom doesn't feel good because their mom doesn't feel good. All they know is that they're having fun together. And then the dads can get together. And you know, they may not talk through their feelings, but what they're doing is developing relationships so that they can make that call, say, I'm going through a hard time. Can you talk to me? And that's what our retreats do for the bigger family. So what do we do? What do we do when we go on a retreat? Is it all about sitting around and talking about cancer? Nope, it's not at all. It is trying to find as many activities that make and help these participants know that they can do things. So we do empowering activities like paddleboard or kayaking or ropes courses, because with assistance, if they need it, they find out that they can do this. Let me tell you a little story about a mom in California this past year. All her daughter wanted to do out in Morro Bay, California, was kayak. That's all her daughter wanted to do, teenage daughter. And this mom was literally like, she was afraid to get in that kayak. She didn't want to sit down in that water. It was scary as all daylights to her to get down. She did it. And she shared that moment with her daughter. And she was just ecstatic. She was so proud of herself because she didn't let her fear rob her of that moment with her daughter. That's what things I get to see, that people can realize they can do things. They can do. There's lots of connection, so that people can realize they're not alone in this journey. These past 4 years coming off of COVID, people have been so alone. We have all felt so alone at different times. And when they couldn't go to treatment with anyone, when they couldn't go to the hospital with anyone, now they're able to find connections with people who've gone through the same thing. That's invaluable. This is a big picture that just says it all begins and ends with connection. It all begins and ends with people like you. Whether you're in a community, whether you are a volunteer, whether you help lead, whether you help give, it's all about connection. So what do we do? As Little Pink, can we measure what we have done? And you know, if you have been in a world where you write for grants or you try to objectify something that's all about feelings, well, that's kind of what we have to do so that we can try to see if others will say, hey, your program is doing some good. We've been able to measure this with surveys. So our retreats decrease the stress level. They increase opportunities for people to be interactive with each other. They normalize the cancer journey for kids, decrease the financial burden, and let me speak to that very quickly. This is the second year we've been able to offer travel assistance for our families. We always felt like it was something that we should do, but we didn't know how. And 2 years ago, you know how sometimes there's a moment where you kind of draw a line in the sand and you say, we got to do this. We got to do this. Well, that's what happened. And we found a way. We've had a lot of companies come alongside us just to help us fund the travel budget. And we've been very, very thankful for that, because we know that some people had to say no to coming to a retreat because they didn't know how they were going to get there. And we don't want that to be what keeps them from coming. and create a long-term network of support. We have people who've been connected for years and years and years because of the Little Pink Retreat. The biggest thing, though, is people come as strangers, but they leave as family. I just went to a celebration service for one of our leaders who passed away unexpectedly. And the people who came to that service, beyond her family, it was the community of which she was the coordinator for a retreat. And they were amazed at her generosity and her kindness and her service and her always serving others. That family of people, she left a legacy of service and love. And that's what Little Pink is about. I want to show you a video now that that allows the participants to share what the week has meant to them. So Annalisa is going to get this going for us. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and we'll see if we can bring it back up. Okay. We'll see if we can, I'm going to see if we can still get it because it's a powerful video, but I'll go ahead and power through this. All right. So that leads me back to my original statement. Who's the most important person in this room? It's you. It's you. Now, I would love to say it's our breast cancer families because I love them and I love what we do for them. And I would love to say that it's amazing volunteers because I love them too. So let's talk a little bit about them. To get involved with Little Pink Houses of Hope, you don't have to have breast cancer. You don't have to have a ton of money. You don't have to have anything. You just have to have a heart to serve. That's the biggest thing. So, as you can see here, we have people who are our local volunteers. I think I recognize somebody or a couple of people in those pictures there. This is my Kathy Gates phrase. Please do something from a place of joy, from what brings you joy. I happen to know that Ronnie and Judy love golf. They love golf. And from a place of joy, they have served and helped us raise a ton of money with a golf tournament. There are other people who like to come in and write thank you cards. That's all they do, is write thank you cards. And they even do it from their home because they can, because it's an easy place for them to do that. We have a gala coming up in October. There are people who come on Friday and help decorate tables because decorating is fun for them. Now, they don't want to help, wait the tables on Saturday night, but they would love to decorate on Friday. There are people who come on Saturday night who like to clean up, but don't dare put them on decorating because that is not their thing. The whole point of this is that there are many ways that people can volunteer. Some of it might just be making a phone call to say, hey, we know you just got back from a retreat. Tell me about how your week went. It could be something like that. Other ways, of course, to donate or to be helpful would be to donate. And what does that mean? It doesn't always mean money. It can mean donating lots of different things, from time to, oh, wait a minute. use my props. A pair of socks. And you might say, why a pair of socks? Because we put these in our boxes of hope that go to our breast cancer patients who just need a little dose of hope. They just need a little pick-me-up. They just need something to make their day a little brighter. Dollar store, probably even less than that, I don't know. But people do supply drives of socks that go into our boxes of hope. Beach towels. Some people do supply drives with beach towels because we like to put those in the homes with the families because they're not always in the homes depending on the location and that kind of a thing. But everybody gets their own brand new, wonderful little beach towel, and they love that. Sometimes, for those of you who knit or crochet, our ladies get prayer shawls, and they love these. You would think that that was the most treasured thing in the world to see them just wrap up in it and just feel the love. Doesn't have to be this big. Doesn't have to be this small. It could be whatever brings you joy. Okay? So, donations. And then just spreading the word. How many of you knew about Little Pink Houses of Hope before you walked in the door today? 2. So maybe about, I would say 10, 20%. And we've been here in the county for 14 years. If you're not in the breast cancer community, you don't really have a reason to know about us. So we understand that. We understand that. But now you know. And now when you hear someone say, oh, my daughter's friend was diagnosed with breast cancer, you can say, have her go to Little Pink Houses of Hope. Have her fill out an application. Have them, maybe she can get a box of hope. Now you know. Now you know. So, spread the word. We have lots of local events where you can come participate or you can assist. From the golf tournament in the spring to a fun run in the fall to all kinds of things. And we generally put these out on our social media, but if you sign up as a volunteer, just saying, hey, I want to know more about this, then you would know about those events. A lot of our dancers now are doing events as fundraisers for Little Pink Houses of Hope. And you would find out more about what those events are, and you could participate in those if that was something that brought you joy. Retreats. I don't know. Some of you might go, I wonder if I could be a retreat volunteer. Have you ever been to summer camp? Other camp? What other camp? If you've done that and you kind of get the picture of, all right, so we're going to kind of take care of these other families. They're staying each in their own house. They all have their own house. They don't share with anybody, but the volunteers share together. So it's like all the camp counselors getting to hang out together. So it's kind of a lot of fun. That's where that camaraderie comes about. But then we go out to beach day. And guess what we do? We set up all the chairs. We set up the tent. We set up everything so a mom gets to walk out on the beach and she doesn't have to carry anything but her bag. Wouldn't that be like awesome? They can't believe it. They can't believe it. Maybe you couldn't do it for a whole week, but maybe you would say, oh, I would love to come down for a day and just help with something. You could even do that. So there's lots and lots of ways to be involved. Another way that's down here are the auctions that we do for our gala and for some of these events. I love to participate in auctions. Do y'all love to participate in auctions? Yeah. So, it's on the other side of that. So if we can help donate items for that, that is great. And guess what? They don't always have to be new. They just need to look new. How about that? Uh-huh.
That auction, that basket there was donated by Brookwood.
Oh, there you go.
It was really cool. It's all lottery tickets and, yeah.
All right, well, let's give yourselves a hand. You already did something you didn't know it, right? See, I told you it was about you. All right. So other ways that you can be involved. One-time or recurring gifts. Maybe today you're like, oh, I want to do something for you, and you just do something one time. That's great. Whatever. Property. Maybe you or a family member has a rental house or a property down at one of our beach locations or our other retreat locations. We would love to use that property. We're insured through Hub International. We have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed when it comes to property care. And we steward our property donors well. So that is always a great way for a family to get to come. And we already talked about auction items, that kind of thing. And then the supply drives, the towels, the socks, the whatevers. The whatever brings you joy that you would like to give. So what can the most important person in the room today, what can you do? What can you do? To share hope like Little Pink shares hope. So encourage people to apply. We already mentioned that. If you find out about somebody having breast cancer, doesn't matter if they're 18 or 88. They can apply, okay? Maybe you're like, I want to know more about that box of hope. I want to know more about that. This is specifically for breast cancer people who are diagnosed. And I do want you to know that we do serve, you've heard me say participants and not women. We have served male breast cancer participants. So we've served probably about 8 over the years. Pardon me. So you can send a box of hope. If you were like, oh, I just found out someone was diagnosed, I would like to send them a box of hope. If you will reach out to Little Pink Houses of Hope, we can do that. And the beautiful thing about that we do is that we will say, hey, would you like to get her family or his family and friends to write notes of encouragement to them? And then when all of those come in, we put them in the box. And then it becomes not just a box of stuff, but a box that has love letters in it too. So that makes it even better. Bring a friend to volunteer. I don't know how you two got together, but y'all bring each other, and that's a good way to do it, right? Right. So bringing a friend along is always a great way to have fun together. And then sharing with the community. Again, this is from the golf tournament. And the joy that people have in just participating in events that help other people. Doesn't it make you feel good inside? It does. And that's what we're talking about today. Not just we're making the breast cancer families feel good, but isn't it crazy how when we do good for others, it makes us feel good? That's where the joy comes from. So, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? Well, that's up to you. That's up to you. But I hope that you leave here knowing that Little Pink Houses of Hope loves breast cancer families. Little Pink Houses of Hope loves people who can help us with that in the way that brings them joy. We're never going to force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do because it just doesn't work that way. So, you can reach out to us. You can look us up at littlepink.org. You can also email us if you need some more information about any of the things that I mentioned today. And you can call us on the phone as well, and hopefully we'll get a message from you about that as well. So I want to open it up now for questions, and then we're going to see if we can still show this video as well. So while they're working on that video, I'll take any questions from you that you might have about Little Pink Houses of Hope. Anyone? Yes, ma'am.
Does it have to be a family or?
No, great question. We've had single people come. We've had, let me tell you another special story. We had a lady who lived at Ralph Scott. Apparently this one works. We had a family who lived, a lady who lived at Ralph Scott Homes. And she came to Myrtle Beach about 10 years ago with her friend and another friend and 2 caregivers. And she came home on Saturday, and she passed away on Tuesday. But she wanted to be at the beach, and she had the best week. She had a hard week, but she was so happy. So we have people who come with best friends. We have people who come with just couples. In fact, we have couples retreats that are just spouses and or partners. We have, you can define family today in so many ways. Well, that's how we take them. That's how we take them. Okay?
Questions?
All right. I did have one more thing I wanted to share. We close most retreats with what we call the starfish story. And the starfish story goes something like this. I'm sure you've seen it in print. I'm sure you've read it. There was a little kid out on the beach, walking along the beach, and a man looked down and saw them, and he was like, wonder what that kid's doing. And he went down there and he saw the shore was covered with just thousands of starfish. And the little kid was just picking up the starfish and throwing them back in. And the gentleman goes up to the kid and says, hey, why are you doing that? And he's like, well, I'm trying to get him back in the water. I want him to survive. And the guy says, well, you can't throw all of them back in. Why are you doing that? And the little kid picks up another one and he throws it back in and he says, I made a difference for that one. Okay? That's the power of one person making a difference. And I know in a room like this that there are people in this room that have made differences for many, 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 many different people. And first of all, I just want to say thank you for that in ways that I don't even know of. I know that you have made a difference for other people. And I appreciate the privilege of sharing what we do with you, and just thank you for listening and how you can share that with other people. So, again, who's the most important person in the room today? You, because you're the ones that go make a difference, okay? So that's all I'm going to say there. Hopefully we'll get this video up. Yes. Okay. If you go, it's on Vimeo.
Just a moment. I'm the newest employee at Little Pink, just to let you know, that's why I'm here. Microphone? I'm just gonna entertain y'all while they're doing that. I'm the newest employee at Little Pink, and I'm the volunteer engagement strategist. So my job is going to be to take care of all of the people who volunteer, make sure that I can support you and give you whatever you need to help support us. So if you call or you apply online, it's probably me that you're gonna talk to. So my name is Annalisa, and I just thought I'd introduce myself to everybody. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, sure.
Hey, everybody. I just want to say that this organization is an amazing group. My mom actually volunteered here for probably about 5 years before she was actually diagnosed with breast cancer. She just finished up her last treatments with that here recently. But also breast cancer is also a part of my family too. My wife is a breast cancer survivor as well. So I was just going to say that this organization has helped a lot of families in so many ways, whether it's a day trip or a whole week. So, I just thank you. Thanks for letting them be able to share their story and be those ones that we can be the ones to help these people along the way. So, yeah.
Okay, who has the very first lucky ticket? You can trust Ronnie. You can trust Ronnie with anything.
Last three is 296.
296.
Next three numbers are 282. Well, this one's always useful too, a Harris Teeter gift card. Might see you there. Yeah. Let's see, the last one is last three is 292.
292. And that one will be the bottle of wine on the table.
Bottom is right on the table.
So you need to be sure you share this.
And this one's is 294.
294.
She's gonna eat good too. Last three are 275.
She gets a bottle of wine. And the balloons, you get to keep those.
This one is 277.
Okay, that is Charlotte.
Charlotte, okay.
I gave Charlotte, she helped set up everything, so I'll get that to her. Okay.
Charlotte's the winner on that.
One more.
One more. It is 295. Come on.
Tell everybody to have a glass of lemonade.
All right, we've got the video ready for you now. We're going to go ahead and show that, and lemonade is coming around, all right? Here we go. Just hold it as close to the...
I was in shock more than anything. Like, there's no way. I did surgery. I did everything I could to possibly prevent this, and I still got it. We got home, we told my kids, and I remember my son looking at me and crying and saying, "Mom, are you gonna die?"
Hearing my mom come home saying, "Okay, guys, I have cancer," we all started crying. We just kept having to fight through it. I literally sat in my bedroom every day thinking, was it something I did that happened to cause my mom cancer? Was it anything else someone did? They didn't really understand or know what happened.
When you find out some news like that, and you see your wife crying every single night, you see how alone she is, all you want to do is fix it. You want to take it away. And can't.
We showed up to the doctor's appointment and I got told that it was indeed cancer. And so while he's going through reading it, he's like, you have cancer on your sternum, you have 2 spots on your spine, you have a spot on your femur, and you have a spot on your right pelvis. And I'm like, so what does this mean? And he goes, we go from curing you to maintaining your life. And I'm like, what does maintain mean? He goes, however long you want to live. Okay, then how long can you keep me alive? Because I have a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old at the time, that I want to be here to watch grow up. Being diagnosed stage 4, I never want to be without my children. Every moment I have with them is so precious. So for us to be without them for an entire week is a lot. But I wouldn't do it for anybody else other than Little Pink.
It's very enriching to be able to speak to other survivors and them also to talk about how Little Pink has helped them and their families get away.
Little Pink is just bringing sisters together who are about the same age, who are going through the same thing, and we're all on the same level. It's been a vacation from cancer, to not have to even think about it, to not have to live in that world every day for a while, and that's what it's been like. I've watched my husband, him relax. I've loved listening to my daughter giggle about anything and everything.
They get a complete break from treatment and schedules, and they get to be a family again and get to play, be in a beautiful place. They get to bond with other families. They're not alone. They make new friendships, and some of them experience things they've never, ever experienced before. And I say that that's a very healing thing.
The house is gorgeous, it's big. I walked in the door and it took my breath away. I was like, this is ours for a week? I was almost in tears. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is unheard of. Like I can't thank them enough for everything they've done for my family to bring us this close together this week.
This has like immediate immense impact for families that attend, that are fortunate enough to attend.
Everybody's different, but everybody's so accepting and having such a great time together and telling their stories and being able to be around people that understand the lingo and the medicines and treatments and all the different things that we go through.
Having an opportunity to be involved with Little Pink House of Hope, I've been able to witness firsthand what it's done for my children, to see my wife smile, to see a newfound sense of hope in her has been so inspirational.
You're not going to have another vacation like you do with Little Pink. You'll try things that you've never done before. You'll meet people that you would never meet, and they stick with you forever. And memories will stick with you forever.
Additional thing to focus on. And we know that putting any kind of time or energy into Little Pink is time well spent, because we know as stage 4 couple, time is really precious.
It brought us together as a family more than any other trip we've ever been on as a family. And it's been the best experience I've ever had.
And there are women who have sacrificed and who have been through more than most people will ever understand. And there's a sacredness about them. And I think of that way with Little Pink.
All these things wrapped together is what Little Pink brings to all of us. And I think that's what makes the week so special.
Thank you. I know that was less than perfect, but I hope that you saw that love. I hope you saw that love as much as anything. So thank you very much for having us.
I'd like to add one more thing, that when Clark was up here, some of you may not know what the village of Brookwood of course, they donate to a lot of nonprofits, but they very generously also donate to Little Pink Houses of Hope every year. So let's give them a big hand for our own group here. Clark, April wasn't able to be with us tonight, but we appreciate Clark coming.
Yeah, we were on the golf picture. We still not won the tournament yet, but we're trying.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Yes, thank y'all so much.
If anyone would like to volunteer in the play, just ask Kathy this afternoon.
And Annalise, I appreciate it.
Drop something.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Nancy Anderson. I'm the survivor. Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Oh, amazing, okay.
It's pretty, isn't it? Well, I used to make hats for the little babies in hospitals.
Yeah.
So what I can do is sit down in my spare time.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I've got a real easy pattern. Do it all pink or pink and white?
You can do whatever you would like. Yeah.
Like a little bit smaller niche, just like.
Yeah, a little shawl, yeah.
I did one for my mother when she was in the nursing home. They're really easy to do.
They are. I crochet too. So, yeah, I've done some blankets and I've done
Well,
some
I
clothes.
did mine in knitting,
Yeah.
but.
You could knit as well. You could knit as well. Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for coming.
So we have some cards on the back table, right, with all of our information. Hi. Oh, okay. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for all your help.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure that I will. Okay. Okay. We do have some cards on the back table, and she's writing down her email. Did you write down her email? I did. Yes. Do you want to write yours on here too? Here, let's come over to this flat one.
That table's easier, for sure.
I first heard about Little Pink Houses. We were Little Beach, or we were somewhere. We were going to be there for a week. And we were at a restaurant for breakfast. And you know how they have, like, you want to round up? You know,
Yes, yes.
so people were rounding up, and they had a big thing on the side napkin. That's why I gave you a napkin. It said, we rounded up this much of money, which meant we could do 4 Little Pink Houses.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow, just when people give you like 80%.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so easy. It's not a big commitment. It's great.
First.
They smell amazing.
Take them with your napkin, and you too, please.
No, I can't have gluten.
Napkin, use napkin.
You're a rebel.
But, I mean, it's amazing what a difference change
Right.
can
I mean,
make.
yeah, and you don't even miss it. Yeah. So,
It's a wonderful thing.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I definitely want to do something.
okay, awesome. I will be in touch then. Thank you so much. I will be in touch with you, okay?
Okay, no, I look forward to that.
Y'all have a great rest of your day.